Hi everybody, welcome to an edition of Yo on the Go. Today we're going to be talking about taking care of your engine in order to be able to maximize the performance. So there are a couple things we always do, right? Typically is you change the oil in your engine. The oil is that lubricant that keeps everything running smoothly, and with regular oil changes you remove all of the contaminants that may cause trouble within your system. In many ways the human body has that same thing, right? To be able to do cleansing, to be able to remove these things. There's some research that things like intermittent fasting is helpful in helping changing those cycles between performance and then cleanup and rest and recovery. In many ways, when you're exercising and working out and building muscle, building strength, you want to be able to rest. Rest is just as important, if not more important, than the actual workout itself. So consider those things. Another thing you consider, just like putting 93 octane gas or even 100 octane gas, or doing a blend of 91 and 100 to make 93 like we do here in California, is to have a good schedule for food in your body, making sure you have the right amounts of protein, fat, fiber, as well as carbohydrates. The other thing is accelerants, right? So if you have a NOx, a nitrous oxide dispenser in your car, you can get huge amounts of performance at the risk of blowing up, of course. But we can also do that here. We actually do that all the time here in the Western world. The quickest accelerant, easiest accelerant to get to is caffeine, and you can take that in many different forms. I like the principle that Nassim Taleb talks about, in which don't ever drink or eat anything that hasn't been drunk or eaten for 1,000 years. And in this case, I think coffee and tea are one of those very safe chemicals, delivery systems, so to speak, that enable you to maximize your performance. Now, it doesn't actually make you better. It actually accelerates or compresses all of your attention and energy into that point of view. You're actually using up your ability to focus in the future by drawing it closer to caffeine. And that's why when you don't have enough sleep and you take caffeine, it gives you that burst in the beginning, but then you crash like crazy because you don't actually have that attention reserve. And with that is the concept of sleep and rest. You need to have a good rest and schedule for rest. Now, I actually for the last few years have been pushing myself pretty hard, especially with this commute schedule, waking up very early in the morning, and that works. It actually didn't work for the first 2 years or so. I found myself falling asleep in the middle of the day, like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I got used to that, and then was able to maximize my time working. But then after a few years, it started to wear on me. I started to realize that a half-hour difference in sleep, especially with the circadian rhythms, with the sun rising and setting, actually makes a huge difference. So you may or may not be sensitive to that. Be aware of that in terms of your performance. Look at and just be aware of whether rising or going to sleep at certain times improve your performance. The other thing I found is that these things have a lag of about a day. So if you don't sleep the first night very well, you don't sleep very well the first night, it takes to the second and third night before it actually makes that effect, or third day rather. So in that the first day you stay up really late, the second day you're pretty okay. It's you crash on the third day. So there's always a lag, and that's why sometimes it's hard to gauge whether one thing is working or the other. So what I like to do is I like to modulate now my sleep schedule, such that I wake up pretty early in order to do things that I don't get to do normally because I'm on the road, like working out. I'll do that once or twice a week, and the rest of the week have a much more moderate sleep schedule, sleeping in just for a little bit, and that really makes a difference. The other one you can do is to have naps during the day. So having intermittent naps of 10 to 15 minutes works wonders for your attention span. A 15-minute nap will keep you going for another 3 extra hours. What's even better is to do this, where you take a 15-minute nap, let's say you've got this great presentation that you have to do to a high level person, and you know there's about 2 hours before you're going to make that presentation. What I like to do is I like to take a short 15-minute nap 2 hours before then, and then take an accelerant, something like coffee or tea, preferably tea, because tea actually has other chemicals like L-theanine that help level off the accelerant of caffeine and keep you focused but not jittery. And imbibe that, and that takes about 20 minutes to kick in, and it lasts about 2 to 3 hours. And so then you'll be actually refreshed, because again, the accelerant only draws your energy forward, right, and intensifies it. You need to have that reserve, and that 15 minutes of rest gives you those sort of reserves. So these are sort of things that I've picked up over the years in terms of maximizing your attention and focus for specific times and places. Again, you're not overall maximizing or increasing it, you're just really concentrating it. And so you need to time these things and understand how those interplays work out. So I hope this was useful to you, also helpful to think about your body and your schedule as a machine. There are things you can do just like you can do to a turbo Mustang to improve it, either hardware changes or changes to your software, or even changes to the fuel and the type of maintenance that you do. It's critically important to treat your body just like you do your performance vehicle. That those two things work hand in hand, and they're very similar. Okay, I hope this was useful. Until next time, bye.